What's up, GITV? This is Head Tech Frank, and today we're going to be taking a look inside the new Airsoft GI Full Metal G4 series. I actually have this set up as a MOE mid-length carbine, but bear in mind these will come in different variations. So some will come with rail systems, some will just be standard wrists and stuff. But it gives me a chance to kind of show off what the gun actually has to offer. So. These are built in Taiwan, and the OEM company is Lonex. So we actually got our hands on a Lonex sample, and we like what we saw. The guns actually, we've been running this one on a LiPo for the past couple months here, and seems to be doing pretty good. So upper and lower receiver is full metal, and it does come with it will be coming with a flash mag, so you will have one flash mag that comes with the gun. So that's kind of cool. Makes winding your mags a lot easier. Standard pistol grip. These are going to come with a crane stock configuration, so the battery will go into the crane stock, so it's going to be like a 9.6 is the battery that we're going to recommend. The LiPo battery is pretty much at your own risk. We actually hardly ever recommend LiPos be run in an airsoft gun. Okay, so the only thing is on the exterior, the buffer tube will be proprietary to Lonex themselves. For some reason, they did decide to create their own little thing here. However, if you wanted to wire the gun to the back, they already kind of molded in a channel here for the wires. So this tube just basically screws right on, and there's a spot in here for the wire. The mag pull stocks do fit over the buffer tube, as well as a lot of other company stocks like the EMPs and the King Arm stocks. So you're not totally, up the creek, as per se, if you wanted to change the style of the stock. So again, they come with crane stocks, and the buffer tubes are large enough for you to fit a, standard buffer tube LiPo into them. So if you wanted to run MOE stock like we're doing here, the battery can still go into the buffer tube. So that's about it. Let's take a look at the hop-up in the barrel. So it's just going to have a standard brass barrel. Hop-up unit's going to be made of plastic, standard version 2 hop-up unit. So we actually tested this gun with quite a few other hop-up units, all version 2s, and they're all compatible. So we don't have any compatibility issues there. All right. Moving to the internals. Okay, standard Lonex version 2 gearbox. Looks like they might have just changed the color a little bit, but for all intents and purposes, this is the same gearbox that you're gonna buy in the aftermarket Lonex, their aftermarket parts. It is an 8mm gearbox, so it's got some 8mm steel bushings in there. Standard Lonex internals, all their internal parts right here, the trigger assembly, all that, they're all pretty much compatible across the board with any other version 2 parts. Just got to be careful sometimes when you're mix matching brands. Again, there might be slight little fit issues. Just got to kind of modify it to work. It's got a pretty torquey motor here. Our sample actually has a decent rate of fire. However, I am told that the motors in our main shipment are going to be high torque, so we'll just kind of modify the video as we see fit. We'll put a little bubble or something if it changes, but for right now it's got decent speed, and it's able to pull this 120 spring. So these bases will have 120 springs in them. They are supposed to shoot in the 400 range, so if you need to shoot less, simply open it up and change out the spring. Spring guide is going to be standard polycarb, just basic spring guide. The Lonex cylinder, it's going to look similar to their aftermarket part cylinders. However, they didn't really make them too pretty because they didn't have to be individually packaged, but the design is the same as their aftermarket cylinders that they sell. It does have a polycarb cylinder head, and actually has their nozzle, and it does have an O-ring in there, so this is an air seal nozzle. And we got a polycarb piston, vented polycarb piston head, and they actually have a spacer here to correct for the angle of engagement. That's the angle that the gear is actually going to come around and kind of meet up with the piston. So they actually corrected for that for better engagement. Gun should last a lot longer, especially if you start wrapping up the speed a little bit. You're going to run into less issues with the piston. Standard version 2 tappet plate, and let's see the spring here. These gear sets, just like any other AEG, they look similar to the gear sets that Lonex sells aftermarket wise, but these look to be made out of sintered metal instead of the machined pieces that you get in the aftermarket gear sets. However, the profile and the way the gear looks does look similar. So, and it does have a little sector gear clip thing here to assist in feeding. They do use the same cutoff lever that they sell aftermarket wise, screws and other parts, and this little gadget doohickey here is the simulated bolt catch mechanism. Outside of that, magazine release, bolt release, all these other parts they're pretty standard. So well, there it is. That's all the parts inside this gun. Once we actually get the main shipment in, we will be breaking one down again just to take a closer look and make sure we're getting the same things. But again, this is just a sample. Our main shipment is actually on the water, so pre-orders for the Full Metal G4s are going to go live in the next week or two, and we're actually trying to target these to be about $20 to $30 more than the original G4s, maybe a little bit more depending on what options we have on them. But check them out; they should be available soon. All right, that's about it. See you guys next time.